Hey friends, Candice here. Today we're going to talk about my go-to lenses for engagement sessions. So I am going to head over to Facebook. Actually, I'm like checking from my phone really quick because I'm going live from my computer, so I can see that. Oh, I can see that we're live. Okay, perfect. So this way I'll be able to see everybody's comments and questions. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. I want to make sure that everybody can hear me before we keep going. And I'm going to wait like just a couple minutes so more people can hop on before we like totally get into this. Okay, awesome. Okay, so you guys can hear me. So I'll tell you what we're going to go over today. I am going to go over with you all of the lenses that I use for an engagement session. I'm going to go over why I use them. And also I am going to pop into Lightroom and I'm going to show you my settings with a recent engagement session that I did, and also show you what the different lenses do. So how you can be in the exact same setting and have a completely different look by the type of lens that you're using. So anyway, so I'm really excited for you guys to see this. So I'm going to start with welcoming everybody. So there's a few of you guys on here. Oh, I'm so excited. Hello, good morning, good morning. When I am starting a session with my couples, I'm typically going to start with my 50 millimeter lens. It's actually attached to my camera right now because it very rarely comes off. So I shoot Canon, so I have a 50 millimeter 1.2. I don't typically shoot that wide open. Really, the widest I usually go is about 1.8. And that is because I love that like creamy, blurry background. So when I'm shooting, especially that wide open, you got to be really careful to make sure that you're focusing in the right spots. Hello from Wisconsin. We're here in Virginia. So excited that you're here. So when you are photographing that wide open, you want to make sure that your focal points are right on point. So I do toggle my focal points. This is something that we can talk about at a later time, but I do toggle my focal points and make sure that I'm focusing on the subject's faces when I'm photographing engagement sessions. So hello, how are you? So when I am photographing, like I said, typically I start with my 50 millimeter. And the reason that I do this is because this is a really versatile lens. And the 50 millimeter is typically what your eyes will see. So I'm open up my phone here, guys, so I can actually like see all the comments. Well, good morning, stuff from Washington. Gosh, you guys are all over the place. I love it. So anyway, this is the most versatile. It's going to give you that look of what your eye sees. And I just love using this lens because, like I said, I love that blurry background. I love how the subjects pop with this. It's really great for me as far as the amount of light that it lets in. So this is going to stay on my camera almost the entire time. And I'm going to show you some images in just a couple minutes where you can see where I shot with my 50 and where I shot with other lenses. So another lens that I always bring with me to my engagement sessions is going to be my 70 to 200. Now, there are a lot of wedding photographers out there that only use this for ceremonies because it's a great zoom lens. You don't have to be in the couple's face. I use this for a couple of reasons. There's sometimes I'm even doing family sessions and this doesn't even come off of my camera. So I love with the 70 to 200, the compression that you get with this lens. If you want to get a nice creamy background and you really want your subject to pop out from that background, the 7200 is really great for this. I do have the 2.8 with the image stabilization. Good morning, Caitlin from Maryland. This is really great. Also, if you want to do those like really close-up shots, but you don't want to get in your couple's face, because I mean, I do get in my couple's face from time to time, but if you want to get like the really super close up shots, these are really great. And the closer you have it to 200 millimeters, then the more compression you have and the more that they're going to pop out from the background. And again, I'm going to pop into Lightroom here in a minute, and I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. But during wedding day, yes, Sherry, yes, this lens is amazing. Yeah, it's really great for family sessions. Oh, it's awesome. Anybody that has this, if you don't use it that often, I really encourage you to pop it on your camera and use it more and more, and you'll find that you love it more and more. I will say in low light situations, it's not the greatest because you lose like a stop or two. So you really got to bump your ISO, especially if you're photographing a wedding and you're in a dark church. This one's a little bit more difficult, but oh man, it's beautiful. So yeah, that I definitely bring with me to engagement sessions as well. Another one that I bring, guys, but I don't use a lot is the 35 millimeter. And this one is, it's a 1.4. So 35 millimeter, I know there are a lot of people that really, really love this lens, especially for family sessions because it has a very whimsical look. That's not typically the look that I go for. My style is more like soft and romantic. So I don't use this a whole lot unless I really want to get a nice wide shot, which I'm also going to show you today too. But it's just, it's not my go-to unless I'm in a tight space. And I really need a wider angle, or if I let's say I'm photographing somewhere with beautiful mountain backgrounds and I want to get like a big wide shot, then I'm going to use my 35. But for the most part, I don't put this on my camera a whole lot because I just really love my 50 and I really, really love my 70 to 200. So quite honestly, when it comes to the actual portrait part of it, my 50 millimeter, my 70 to 200 are going to be on my camera most of the time. During wedding day, I shoot with 2 cameras. I pop those suckers on and they typically stay all day long. But this one is something that I absolutely will pack in my bag because there will be at least one image that I'm going to want to take that's going to be a nice wide shot. Hey, good morning, Nikki from Cleveland. So anyway, definitely make sure that you have a wide angle lens in your bag somewhere. And then the last one that I use, guys, I only carry 4 lenses with me. I always carry a backup camera though. Make sure that you have a backup camera, even if it's just for an engagement session, because how horrible would that be if you roll up to an engagement session and you go to shoot and your camera stops working? Always make sure you have a backup camera. But the last lens that I use, and seriously, I use it for like 2-3 shots because it's necessary, is my 100 millimeter macro. I will say that the macro lens that I have does not have image stabilization. This is the cheaper lens. I think this one from Canon, this is the 100 millimeter 2.8. This was about $500. I did not go with the more expensive lens because I really only use this for ring shots and for detail photos on wedding day. So it's not a ton of photos that I use this for. So I didn't invest in the more expensive lens because I just didn't see the need to do that. So you can get the Canon macro with image stabilization for around, I think maybe $1,300-1,500. Or you can also get adapters that you can put on your lenses to turn them into macro lenses, which I think is probably the better bet if you're only going to be using these for ring shots and detail photos. So I'll be honest with you, because this doesn't have image stabilization, I will be manually focusing this when I'm taking photos of details. And also I hold my breath because if I breathe, then the camera moves, and yeah, so then you've got blurry images. So will this fit on the Mark IV? Yes, It will. I shoot with 2 Mark IIIs. I haven't upgraded to the Mark IV because I just haven't had a need for it. And I love the colors on the Mark IIIs and they're still kicking. So, but yes, this will definitely fit. This will fit any Canon full frame camera. And it should fit crop sensors too. So yes, it will definitely fit on your Mark IV if you have that. So those are all the lenses that are in my bag. So just to recap, the Canon 50mm 1.2, the 70-200 with image stabilization, the 2.8. Do you think the 24mm pancake for a crop sensor is a decent macro for ring shots? This is Nikki asking. I use a full frame, but the plan to use my crop sensor on a second body with a macro lens on it. I honestly think that's totally fine. I think that, you know, for no more than what you're going to be photographing. I mean, for me, if I'm just taking a couple ring shots for an engagement session, it doesn't make a ton of sense to put a big investment in a macro lens. That's just my personal opinion. This macro, I mean, the reason that I even purchased it and didn't do an adapter is because I didn't even know that you could do it. That's how long ago I bought this thing. I've had this for 6, 7 years, 8 years. I don't know. It's been a really long time. So I didn't know any better. So I would say if you have another alternative for macro shots that's going to give you the same result, then, and it's cheaper, then why not do it? So that's just my personal thought on the whole thing. And you guys, this is totally open for questions. So I'm going to pull up Lightroom really quickly so I can show you guys some images. I want you to see the difference with specifically with a 50mm and with a 70-200, because those are going to be the biggest differences. I'm going to screen share quickly. Can you guys see this okay? Just give me like a little high five, a little thumbs up if you guys can see this okay. This is a recent engagement session that I did. It's on the blog. You probably saw it on Instagram as well. So just let me know if you can see it. Looks like you can. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple of images. So here, I'm going to show you this really pretty picture that we took. This is at Stone Tower Winery in Leesburg, one of my favorite places. You'll probably see it all over my Instagram. I'm there a lot. This is an image that I took with my 50mm. I'm going to show you the same image with my 70-200. So you can see this is pretty wide. This is exactly what my eye would see. Standing in the exact same spot, I switched over to my 70-200 and boom, this is what we have. So you can see, yes, I'm closer, but you can see the compression with this image. I'm able to get a lot more of this background here. Like it's just much different than the 50mm in literally the exact same spot. So this is one of the reasons why I love my 70-200 is because it gives you that really creamy background. You get more compression, so I have more of the mountains above their head. And you can see like they totally just pop out from the background. Another thing that's really great about the 70-200 is you can get some of those like really nice close-up shots without having to be like all up in their face. But here you can see, I think this one I shot with, I'm pretty sure this is 50mm. Yeah, so this is 50mm 2.2 is what I shot with this one. So towards the end of the sessions is when I will get all up in their face. And I will tell them, hey, we're close friends now. I'm going to get all up in your grill. So I honestly, guys, I don't even think I pulled out my 35mm for this particular session. I really loved what I was getting with my 50mm from this area. There were some things off to the side that I didn't really want in the picture. So 50mm, 70-200, and my macro is all I used for this particular session. I will show you some images from a recent session that I did in DC. I don't think that the images are linked with this, so we might have a problem seeing it. Let's see if it'll pull up. So I moved the files to a different file, so it's not linked at the moment, but you can kind of get the idea. So this was a wide angle shot that I did in DC. And this I did shoot with my 35 because I wanted to get as much of the architecture as I possibly could. This is at the Smithsonian Castle. So that I did make sure that I had my 35 available. I also wanted to get some photos of them walking, a little bit more whimsical feel. This is a little pixelated because you can't see the image, but you kind of get the idea. So that was shot with my 35 millimeter. And then lastly, I'll show you a macro shot of this ring. So this is what you're going to be using your macro for, is images like this. So whether it be an adapter or you do the 100 millimeter or whatever you want to purchase, it's these images that you're going to be using the macro for. And honestly, like for an engagement session, I plop that sucker on my camera for just a couple shots and then I put it right back in my bag. So it's not something that I'm utilizing for portraits. I know that some people do, but it's just not what I do for my sessions. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys. Does anybody have any other questions before we hop off here? I'm going to hold on just a second because I know that there's a little bit of a delay. Oh, good morning, Francie. You're so sweet. Good morning. But yeah, guys, I mean, I really do keep it simple when it comes to my engagement sessions. I don't want to carry too much with me, but in your bag, at the very minimum, please make sure that you have a backup camera. Oh, what 50 millimeter do I have, Sherry? I have the Canon 50 millimeter 1.2. And you know, honestly, guys, like a little tip, with these lenses, I know that they can be pretty pricey when you're starting to build your bag. You don't have to buy them brand new. You can buy them refurbished from Canon. You can buy them used from other people as long as it's somebody that you know and trust. Then I think that would be okay. But yes, you don't have to buy them brand new. You can go to the Canon website. They have refurbished equipment all the time. So, hold on one second, buddy. Sorry, my son's coming down during the live, of course. Don't walk over here, bud. Don't walk over here. Yeah. Okay, I'll be there in just 1 second, buddy, okay? Okay, these are bright and beautiful. How do you get them this bright? So I just shoot super wide open, I think, and I just really love light. So when I'm editing, I just make sure that I kind of capitalize on the light. So I always make sure that when I'm photographing that, hey, it's nobody. I make sure that when I'm photographing that I have a wide open aperture. My 70 to 200 stays wide open the whole time. I'm going to be at 2.8 that whole time. And with my 50 millimeter, I'm probably around anywhere from 1.8 to 2.8. 2.8 is typically only if people are moving towards me. But yeah, I mean, that's just, I make sure that my exposure is pretty dead on, maybe slightly overexposed sometimes, but I never truly underexpose. So I think that's what keeps my images as bright as they do. Thoughts on Sigma lenses? I have a lens. Let's see. Is this Sigma or Tamron? This is Tamron. I don't. I have a lot of opinions on it because I don't use it. I do have a Tamron though. And this I don't use a whole lot. This I just really use for receptions. It's during weddings. It's the 24 to 70. I'm all about an aftermarket lens if it works well. So this 24 to 70 I use at weddings, and I actually love this way more than the Canon 24 to 70. It's way sharper. The colors are better. So I've heard wonderful things about the Sigma art lenses. I just haven't used them because I have a full stock of Canon. I haven't had any need to do that, but I've heard wonderful things about them. So I think that it's certainly worth a try, especially if it's going to save you some money and you're going to get either the same or a better result for your clients. I say, why not? Why not use it? no reason not to. All right, guys. Well, I hope that this was really helpful for you. I'll still keep this open for just a couple more minutes for questions, but I always like to mention this in the group that I do offer mentoring, one-on-one mentoring, and also group mentoring programs for anybody that wants one-on-one help with editing, growing your business, shooting, any of that. So definitely feel free to reach out to me. With that, you can shoot me a message in Messenger. I'll put a link down here at the bottom if you want to schedule a time to chat. So I am so happy that you guys popped on today. And typically I do lives every week. I think that it was great, everybody getting an invitation for this one. So I'm going to make sure that we do that moving forward. I think it just is better for everybody to be able to prepare. So I just say love you guys and have a wonderful weekend. And I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.